Should you buy a second home here in Florida? Stick around. That's what we're going to talk about today. I'm John C., your local licensed real estate professional. I love serving everybody here in sunny Southwest Florida, and I'm going to talk to you specifically, those of you out there who are thinking, should I buy a second home in Florida? Or even if you're thinking of moving to Florida, this is going to be a good video for you. Now, I want to talk first about two different types of people: snowbirds, and then those of you who are still working, thinking about retirement, still working, but want to have a second place to work from in those cold winter months. Come down to Florida, enjoy your second home. And then I want to talk about the investors who are thinking about coming and purchasing a home in Florida to maybe rent out. And you may use your property for all three of those things, but let me talk about that. First of all, if you don't know what a snowbird is, it's somebody, typically, I think the term kind of goes where you're retired and you don't want to be up north in the winter months anymore, so you come down here and live down in the warm weather area where I live for 2 to 3 months to get away from all that cold heat, but then be able to migrate back up north during the summer months where it does get a little hot and humid. So I came across this article the other day talking about home buying like a snowbird would buy here in Florida. And the article basically says something like, should I buy or rent a second home in Florida? So I want to read a little bit of that for you today. A common question when implementing a snowbird's lifestyle is whether or not you should rent or buy that second home here in sunny Southwest Florida. Home ownership in general is a huge responsibility. However, there are a few obvious benefits for purchasing a second home, and here's what some of those are. Some of the benefits: planning to age in place. You want to buy that home and you want to stay where you are as you age. You age with the home in a climate that's better for you. Building a long-term relationship with others in the community that you live and really establishing some roots, that's another benefit. And then the profit potential of owning a home here in Florida. When you own a home, home values typically go up over time. Yes, there are dips. Yes, sometimes they go backwards and fall in the price, but overall home prices do go up. And instead of throwing your money away on rent and never seeing a penny of that again, you can own a piece of paradise. In contrast, owning a second home also will come with some added responsibilities. Here's some things to consider. Increased expenses, for instance, maintenance and repair costs. If your air conditioner goes out, your fridge goes out, your stove goes out, if anything happens, you will be paying for those out of pocket. Number two, increased liabilities. For instance, your mortgage. Now, your mortgage, if you have one, it will stay the same in regards to your principal and interest. But your taxes, your property taxes can go up. They can also go down, but they can go up, and your home insurance can also move up as well. That being said, owning a second home is certainly feasible and adds a great deal of convenience for those seeking the comfort of warm weather during those cold winter months. Mortgages requirements. What are the mortgage requirements for owning a second home? Let's talk about some of those. If you decide to venture down the path of owning a second home as a snowbird, and it's important to understand a second home mortgage requirement, here's what some of those are. For example, to qualify for a second home mortgage loan in Florida, the property you are purchasing should not be used for profit. Now, this is if you're using it as your second home. There are loans that you can get for a profit type home, an investment home. But this means if you plan to rent the property while you're away, then it does not meet the second home mortgage requirements here in Florida. There's different loans for different types of home purchases. These property types distinctions often impact mortgage rates and should be discussed with your lender. Other distinctions between primary and secondary home and investment mortgages include the vicinity of a property to the primary residence. You have to be a specific amount of miles away from your primary residence for it to be considered a second home. Another thing to consider is your down payment requirements are typically higher than your first home that you purchased. I've seen people get into homes with 0% on different loans, and even around 3.5% on FHA loans. But when you go to purchase a second home, you cannot get an FHA loan. You are going to be required to purchase that home with a higher percentage down. Typically, it's around 20%, but check with your lender. Also, second home mortgage rates are typically higher than primary home mortgage rates. For instance, if your current home mortgage rate interest rate is 3.5%, your secondary home is probably going to be closer to 4.5%. I usually see, on average, around a 1% difference on a secondary or investment property home. Now, it may be higher because they've implemented some new rules recently, so it may even be a higher mortgage rate than what you're currently paying on your loan. Another thing to consider when purchasing an investment home or secondary home is a home equity line of credit for that second home. Another common option for purchasing a vacation home is this HELOC, home equity line of credit. This may be a great option if you have substantial equity built up in your current home. So you currently live in a home, you have not a high balance on that home, on your mortgage, and the home's worth a lot of money. You have equity that you can tap into. Explore this a little bit further. Typically, home equity is hard to access, meaning there are limited circumstances that allow you to use your home equity. In contrast, savings or liquid assets are more accessible. In this case, using a home equity line of credit allows you to leverage spending power that's not easy to access on a daily basis, while allowing you more liquid assets like cash or savings to continue to grow unimpeded. Furthermore, since vacation homes are typically viewed as long-term purchases, this often alleviates the risk of needing to sell the property quickly to access your equity. Here's a few other things to consider when owning a second home. Maintaining two homes will require regular upkeep even while you're away. You will need to develop a plan to manage and maintain both homes. This might mean installing remote monitoring systems and hiring someone to maintain the property while you're away. Now, here in Florida, we have what we call Home Watch, folks, and it's a business, and there's a lot of them around, and you can have somebody, they're not all good, by the way, you can touch base with some of those. If you need help, I'll connect you with a few. I know a few really good ones here in Southwest Florida, and they actually will go monitor your home for you. They will go there at least weekly, maybe some of them every other week, and they will make sure pipes haven't burst, your air conditioner is still running, your fridge is still working, all those important things while you're away that you can make sure your home is safe. Other costs to consider. We have hurricane insurance here in Florida. We have additional utility payments, travel arrangements. Think about that. You're going to be making trips back and forth from your primary residence to your investment or secondary home. That's going to cost you some money. Home security while you're away, not just having a person come in and take a look at your home. You're also going to need some type of monitoring system or service there at the property. And then property maintenance, general maintenance, upkeep, renovation costs. Consider all of those when having a second home. The important takeaway here is that a well-planned and executed second home strategy is essential to enjoying our warm weather here in Southwest Florida. If you're interested in any of these financing things, reach out to me. I'll get you connected with a great lender here in Southwest Florida. If you're thinking about purchasing a home, reach out. I'll get you set up on an awesome search so we can dial in what you're looking for. I'm John C. here in sunny Southwest Florida. Click that like and subscribe button below, and thanks for watching.